business owners. My name is Dana Ball. I am a small business attorney here in the state of Utah, and today we are coming to you to help you face reality with running your business. Part of that is getting you out of your comfort zone. So I like to poke a little bit just to make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, hopefully getting you to make some changes in how you run your business to better protect your business. Okay, so my question for you right now is, how much cash on hand do you have to hand over if an employee sues you? Do you have any? Do you have $150,000? It could be that much. Maybe you have insurance. Well, that may save some of the cash flow, but it's not going to save the time and stress of having to deal with an actual lawsuit that could last 2 or 3 years. So lawsuits are the quickest drain on a cash flow. And it just sucks time away from your growing business. Like, you as the business owner, it's stressful and you can't focus on making your business better or grow it or create new things. Whatever it is, it puts a damper on your abilities to run the business with 100% full throttle like you're used to doing. The stress that you're feeling, it spreads quickly between your team members, your employees, your third parties that you work with, customers. It spreads fast. And so I want to give you 10 ways to avoid getting yourself involved in an employment lawsuit. There are some things you can do to not have that happen. So let's get right to it. All right. Number 1, make reporting complaints easier. You need to give a variety of options. So that means, how do they know that they can report a complaint? You need policies and procedures. You need an employee handbook. You need training on that. So that's another conversation for another day. So today, it's just, when you put that together and you train, you let them know that they have easy ways to make a complaint. It could be by email, and it could be, you need a variety of people, because if you tell them they have to complain to their supervisor, but what if their supervisor is the one that's causing the problems? They're not going to feel comfortable going to that supervisor. So then you're probably the next best person, or maybe you are big enough to have in-house HR. They would be the option there, but you need a variety, okay? So you want to just make it easy for them to file such a complaint and give them a variety of places to complain to. Number 2, timeliness. Timeliness is such a big issue, and I wish everybody would just understand exactly why. You can't fix things if you don't know about it. And so you want to encourage the complaints, and then when they do complain, or maybe it's just a simple conversation that you can tell that there's something going on, you need to address it. You cannot ignore it. If you ignore it, or you just put the blindfold on and you cover your ears and you just say, oh, they're just having problems, those problems will go away on their own, work themselves out. That is setting your company up for a big lawsuit. So timeliness is number 2. Number 3, you need to be documenting performance deficiencies all along the way. You need to document everything to support the reasons for your actions with every employee, whether it's a positive or negative. So if it's a deficiency, for sure, even if it's not a deficiency, documentation, business owners, that really is what it's going to boil down to. If you end up all the way into a lawsuit where you're being deposed and you're being, you've got to answer requests to produce certain documents, you want to be able to prove your version of the story and how you handled it, and that you did the best you could. You followed the law. You followed the advice from your attorney that's licensed in the state to protect you. Documentation is what you can prove. You can pull it out and you can say, hey, look, this proves my story, how I acted, how I behaved. That is really what's going to save you. All right, number 4, don't make exceptions. Apply your rules. You can have rules in your workplace, but apply them consistently. So no favoritism, right? Everyone gets treated the same way. So that doesn't mean that you can't, this level of employees get 3 weeks vacation, but this level only gets 1. That's okay, as long as everyone at that level gets the same. Do you understand? So apply your rules consistently. Do not make exceptions. That is probably one of the easiest ways to find yourself in a lawsuit, because you treated somebody differently than someone else in their same position, and we look at a lot of things for that. Number 5, training your front line. Who is your front line? Your front line are your supervisors. So anyone that manages other employees, anybody that has the power to hire, fire, give feedback. They need training, because they are usually the first ones to hear complaints. They are the ones that are around for the employees to go to. So training doesn't cost money, it actually saves you money. And supervisors, they need it the most. They need to know how to handle themselves when somebody complains or they are put on notice that there is an issue. So that training is so important, because if it's not handled right, that's when a lawsuit happens. All right. Number 6, you can create specialists. So employment laws, they are complex. And for a small business, it can be so stressful to navigate through your employer obligations. You can't expect one person to stay on top of it all. So depending on your type of business and what the circumstances are, you may want to have someone that's, like if you're in a dental office or a medical office, have someone that is the specialist about HIPAA compliance and security. So you can put that on to different staff members. All right. Number 7. I talked about this a little bit earlier, a handbook, an employee handbook. Make it a tool and not a stumbling block. Simplify it. Keep it updated. You've got to train on everything that's in that handbook, and make sure you have acknowledgement forms signed by every employee. And every time you update that handbook, you get new acknowledgement forms, and you keep training. All right. Number 8, terminate slowly. I know termination is one of the hardest things for us to do as business owners. It's stressful. And I know it has to happen sometimes. And usually I find that a lot of people wait too long, because we're nice people and we don't want to have to do it. When I say terminate slowly, just don't rush to judgment, because that could be expensive. You want to seek legal advice if you are unsure about any important fact at all. Just, you'll know. So terminate slowly. Number 9, consider giving severance agreements. If a mistake has been made by your company with an employee, then this could be a viable option to avoid a lawsuit. And number 10, final one, operate by the golden rule. What is the golden rule? You treat your employees as you would like to be treated. Civility is good for business owners. So if a lawsuit is filed, you will be ready to defend it. And it will make it difficult for that lawsuit to be successful. You will save time, money, and stress. Final note, small business owners often wear all the hats with running a business. The sooner you make your employer obligations a priority will protect your cash flow. Okay, final question. Do you have an employee handbook? If not, this is a good place to start. Thanks for joining us.